How's it going, everybody? I wanted to do a review today on Lady Injury by Melissa Seawater. I actually it took me 3 weeks to read this. Just whenever I had time to read it. Fuck to read it. Um, and it's great. I really enjoyed it. It's I related to this book a lot, as far as abuse. It may not have been the same exact kind of abuse when I was younger, um, but I definitely could relate and trying to um, deal with the trauma, um, by looking for different outlets. If you've dealt with cutting at all in your life or still do, you'll be able to relate to this. If you have an eating disorder, you'll be able to relate to this. I couldn't relate. I couldn't relate. I could relate to everything except for the eating disorder because I've never had one. But I still got the perspective through her eyes of how much of a struggle that was to go through. Um, and this book is very detailed and it's great. I'm always a fan of details. In the beginning, there is a trigger warning. Just because when I say it's detailed, as far as when she talks about the cutting, or when the cutting, the times would happen in the hospital or not in the hospital when she cut herself. And she goes into detail. Um, um, and I'm very desensitized, so it didn't trigger me or anything like that. Um, I could just relate and understand, and I did get flashbacks of the times when I was in an institution, but it wasn't bad flashbacks. It was just being able to relate and remember, and know that I went through the same thing or similar parts that she did. It was very. I like the different dynamic relationships that she had with meeting different people and new people in her life while she was there, and how the relationships changed with her family, fuck and it's it's just really good to um, be able to relate and get also a different person's point of view or perspective when they're going through a situation, and you see how she adapted to her surroundings, and that's one thing I think I've said before is, like, no matter how great or shitty situation could be in your life, or your surroundings change, people always adapt. You always adapt to it. um, and Like I said, the details were great, and I liked the relationship between her and the character Saul. Um, um, and Melissa's a very talented writer. Um, I highly recommend it. I got mine off Amazon, um, and I think that if you're struggling, please check out this book. Check out Melissa's channel, I Drink the Seawater, on YouTube. Um, it seems like people, always have this ideology that if somebody looks a certain way, say they're very pretty and very attractive, then they must not have any problems in their life, or if somebody looks, very very jagged or edgy, um, I've gotten, since I was 14, that you look pissed off all the time and you look angry and you look like a really mean guy, and I'm not, at all. And but it's just perspective, and that's how people just judge a book by its cover. Um, but I would highly recommend the book. It's, what was it, 500, 502 pages. Um, it took me 3 weeks just because I mean if I sat down and was able to sit there for days and read it, it'd probably only take me a couple days. But I did. I highlighted one part in this book just because a lot of things popped out of this book, but um, there is a conversation that Melissa's having um, with somebody, and um, the other person's saying, I tell yourself to stay positive, and Melissa says the only thing I was positive about was that I made it through one night. Each day would be its own challenge, and I really liked that, just because it's you don't have to think so far ahead. It's nice to have goals, but if you're dealing with a situation or just in life in general, if you take it one day at a time or one night at a time, just focus on that and get through that, and then you just keep going forward. Fuck. Um, but I highly recommend the book. I'm ranting, but 10 stars out of 10, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, it's on Amazon. I'm sure you could. I think you could find it other places. Um, but please, check out Melissa's channel. I drink the seawater, and yeah, I highly recommend it. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And Melissa, if you are a great writer and great author, and thank you so much for sharing this with us. And I will talk to you guys later.